Well, if you looked up the definition of a perfect summer night, it's what we have tonight in Cincinnati. And we welcome you to Great American Ballpark, Game 2 of this three-game series between the Cincinnati Reds and the Milwaukee Brewers. And everybody in town still talking about the outing from right-hander Matt Latos. 13 strikeouts, a career high, through his second complete game, a four-hitter, as the Reds took the opening game of this series behind Latos, a final count of 3-1. And hi again, everybody. Alongside Chris Welsh, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball on Fox Sports Ohio. Chris, you documented last night how the Reds flip-flopped in the rotation to break up some of the quote-unquote more finesse pitchers in Mike Leake and tonight's starter Bronson Arroyo, injecting Latos in between. So now Arroyo comes back, and obviously a very different style.
Well, obviously, yes, Tom. I mean, he's a guy that's going to get you out with a lot of off-speed pitches, curveballs, anything from in the low 60 miles an hour all the way up to about 88, 87 miles an hour with his fastball. But really, for Bronson Arroyo, if you start to chart him, he's a very difficult guy to chart. He only throws his true fastball about 35% of the time. That's about half as much as a guy like Matt Latos does. So the Brewers know very well what they're up against. There's a lot of guys that have faced Bronson Arroyo a lot, and Marco Estrada is a guy who's going to face him tonight. He's a right-handed pitcher. He pitches a little bit like Bronson Arroyo, although he really relies on a changeup more than a curveball. Just got activated from the disabled list. He bruises, he hurt his thigh when he was trying to leg out a double, but he's a guy that was a starter last year, reliever a little bit last year, and he's getting a start tonight.
He went into the rotation when Chris Narveson was lost for the year and got beat by the Reds earlier this season when they were in Milwaukee. Well, when we come back, we'll talk more about Game 2 of this series, and in particular, the effect of Drew Stubbs when he's getting on base and making things happen. Thompson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drain Cleaning. Here's our main man, Tim Henry.
Notice I'm on the left-hand side today, all in honor of Joey Votto. He joined Twitter yesterday, got 3,750 followers in just one day. Looks like a nice night at the Ball-Yard. 77 to start, 73 when you're going home. I'm on Twitter, at Doppler Tim. Enjoy the game on Fox Sports Ohio, at Doppler Tim.
All right, thank you, Tim. I tell you what, it's nice for Joey Votto to step up to the plate when this guy's getting on base.
Well, it is. I mean, that's the whole idea. You have speed at the top of your lineup because ideally Drew Stubbs gets on base with a base hit or a walk, and then he steals second base, and Joey Votto comes up and drives him on in. But when the Reds are able to get him on base and get him to score a run, the outcome is remarkable. They have won 25, lost 2 when Drew Stubbs scores a run. So let's let him score a run tonight. See what happens.
Just knowing that you are, an integral part of the team and a contributor makes you feel good about yourself and that everything you do is worthwhile. And I do feel like I can bring a lot of those different facets of the game to the table, and whether it's running the bases, playing the outfield, or whatever. However I can help contribute, that's what makes me happy.
I think Joey and the Reds fans happy if he could get on a few more times tonight. All right, here we go. Game 2 of this series. Right around the corner, it's Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio. Filing in, we had almost 35,000 here last night. Maybe not that number tonight, but a good crowd nonetheless. Norchika Aoki to lead things off. He'll be followed by Niger Morgan and Ryan Braun here in the Milwaukee Brewers opening inning against Bronson Arroyo. Breaking ball is in there, Steve. Right one, and this one underway. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Aoki accounted for the only Milwaukee run in the game last night, clubbing a home run to right field in the 6th inning. Check swing and a foul ball out of play, and Bronson ahead at 1 ball and 2 strikes. See the numbers on Arroyo, gunning for win number 4. That ERA just recently jumped in to the 4 category after hovering most of this year in the mid-3s. Much like last night's starter Matt Latos, Arroyo coming off a very poor outing in Cleveland. Foul ground and over the Reds dugout and out of play. Let's take a look at Milwaukee's lineup under Ron Renicky, presented by Axe Advisors. Morgan and Braun to follow. Ramirez and Ishikawa been out at first, with Katara starting behind the plate. Taylor Green, Cesar Izturis, and Marco Estrada the latter third. Off the glove of Arroyo, and look at that, right into the glove of Brandon Phillips. Lady luck smiling on Bronson Arroyo on the first batter of the night.
Maybe part lady luck, part skill right there. Bronson Arroyo doesn't get his glove up at all. Chances are that ball does get into center field for a base hit. Had a lot of overspin on it right there, and it flicks off his glove, but it does go to one guy in that infield that you want it to go to just about every time. Actually, there's about 4 guys out there.
You're right.
You'd like to have it go to every time.
Of course, 3 of the 4 have the hardware to prove. In fact, 4 of the 5, if you include Arroyo. You take the pitcher, first, second, short, and third. 4 of the 5, the lone exception, Zach Cozart, all Gold Glove winners.
Yeah, it's interesting, Tom, because growing up, you always hear pitching coaches tell you that as soon as you let the ball loose, you become the 5th infielder. So be prepared to, field your position. And Bronson Arroyo has been doing it like that every year, and he finally got recognition for it.
Nyjer Morgan at .243, 2 home runs and only 4 runs batted in. In fact, only 4 doubles for Morgan. A very quiet start to this 2012 year, and he's getting regular playing time. 2-2.
He likes to hit the fastball like a lot of these Brewers do, and consequently, he, like a lot of the other Brewers teammates that he has, have not hit Bronson Arroyo very well over the years. In fact, they're sitting 2 of them tonight, Ricky Weeks and Corey Hart, because they simply have been deplorable against Arroyo over the years. So you're trying to go with a little bit of a left-handed lineup, even if it means you're not putting out the best players. They're thinking against Arroyo because he neutralizes right-handers so much, they'll try to run as many lefties out there as possible.
Seems like every time the Reds see Nyjer Morgan, he's making something happen. See his career numbers way above his career marks as a .333 batter, but he's gone swinging. They're 2 away. Let's look at the Reds defensively behind Arroyo tonight, presented by your Ford dealers. Stubbs, Ludwig, and Bruce in the outfield. We talked about the infield a moment ago. And Ryan Hannigan always hanging the signs for Bronson Arroyo. Two away, bases empty for Ryan Braun, a .314 batter, 20 home runs, 52 knocked in. 0 for 4 last night, struck out 3 times against Matt Latos. Strike 1. Arroyo has already beaten Milwaukee once this year, the first week of May, when the Reds won 2 of 3 at Miller Park. 6 2/3 innings, allowed 6 hits and only 1 run. And that was his 12th career win against this Brewer team, with an ERA just barely over 3.5. You got to remember, that's an ERA barely over 3.5, and he had 1 game against him in 2009 where in 1 inning he gave up 9 earned runs.
And if you watch the ball game last night, you saw that Matt Latos simply pitched power pitching to Ryan Braun. Had him chase the high fastball, challenged him with a 95-mile-an-hour four-seamer right across the letters. But, if you're Bronson Arroyo, you don't have that weapon. You've got to figure something else. And of all the guys in the lineup that the Brewers have right now, Braun is the one that's given him the most problems. Close to 300, 4 home runs, and 8 knocked in. So this is the guy that, Arroyo really bears down on, because he knows that he is right in the center of that Brewers offense. And the longer that these at-bats last, and he can give you a long at-bat, the more it can wear you out mentally.
One ball and 2 strikes on Braun. And a breaking ball sweeps away at even a count. Aramis Ramirez waits in the on-deck circle. Arroyo's retired Aoki and Morgan to start the game, and now trying to finish them off in order.
I guess if you're Bronson Arroyo, you look at it a little differently than Matt Latos does. Latos goes out there with his kind of stuff, unhittable slider, 95-mile-an-hour heater, good curveball and changeup, and says, I'm going to get you out. But then the next night, Arroyo takes the mat and he says, I'm just going to give you a good chance, a good opportunity to get yourself out. And that's one reason why I think that Dusty Baker wanted to break up Leake and Arroyo, because they pitch very similar.
Well, we take a look at going into play tonight in the National League Central Division. The Reds picked up a game last night on the Pirates. The Cardinals rallied late and won in extra innings over the Marlins. So those two back. And Milwaukee with a loss last night, 7.5 behind the front-running Reds. Reds are one of only, 8 teams in all of baseball so far this year to reach the 40-win mark, joining the Yankees, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Texas, the Angels, Washington, the Dodgers, and the Giants. And Braun hit on the 3-2 fastball, so he's a 2-out base runner.
Well, you can see how long Ryan Braun stayed in there on that pitch, not being able to read whether it was a fastball or a curveball until just the very last second. If you're going to hit Arroyo, you've got to stay in there. So no harm done right there. You put a runner on with 2 outs, no problem, unless the next guy comes up and does some damage.
Of course, Braun more than capable of stealing a base. In fact, he is their team leader, 13 of them in 18 tries. There's ball 1 to Aramis Ramirez. Those 2 guys will be headed for the All-Star game in Kansas City a week and a half from now. Braun looking to start his 5th consecutive All-Star game. And Joey Votto is now the leading vote getter among all National League players. Braun ranks 3rd among all outfielders, behind only Matt Kemp and Carlos Beltran. Kemp, of course, is hurt. Beltran's having a really good year. You know about Braun. In 4th place on that list, right on the heels of Braun, is Giants outfielder Melky Cabrera. And I'm not so sure there's any outfielder in the league that should be starting the All-Star game more than Melky Cabrera. In the air and playable for Jay Bruce. Well short of the track. No hits, 1 left. The Reds coming up against Marco Estrada when we return. 2012 Ford F-150 Motor Trend Truck of the Year by Cincinnati USA. Let us be your travel guide to Cincinnati. Visit CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Game time is Skyline time. Stop by your favorite Skyline Chili tonight. Look inside the spectacular Reds team shop. And the Axe Advisors starting lineup: Cozart, Stubbs, and Votto. Phillips, Bruce, and Rowland in the middle. A latter third of Ludwig, Hannigan, and Bronson Arroyo against Marco Estrada. Just activated off the disabled list after suffering a quad injury. And making just his 7th start of the year. He began the year in Milwaukee's bullpen. See the 7 walks in just 36 innings. In there, strike, 1-1 to Cozart.
Yeah, he's one of the rare pitchers around, Tom, because of his great control. 7 walks in only 36 innings. He's got more home runs given up than he does walks. You don't find that very often.
Same could be said of Bronson Arroyo.
Exactly. And both of these guys rely a lot on off-speed pitches. Estrada's best off-speed pitch is his changeup, but also throw a good curveball.
Cozart only 1 hit during the homestand, spanning 13 at-bats. Went 0 for 3 last night, including a big double play ball. With runners on the corners and only 1 out at the time, it was a scoreless game. But a very good month of June, much like the rest of his teammates. The Reds' offense has certainly come alive. They are second only in the National League in batting average during this month to Colorado. Cozart gone swinging. A number of changes for the Brewers on defense presented by your Ford dealers, and we saw in last night's game. Same outfield, but in the infield, changes on the right side. Green and Ishikawa, as Chris mentioned earlier, replacing Weeks and Hart, and Kataris to start behind the plate. Real nice return to the active roster for Drew Stubbs last night. Walked his first time up, doubled and scored in the 4th, struck out in the 5th. But singled, stole a base, and scored an additional insurance run in that 8th inning. And if you weren't with us a short while ago, Chris Welsh pointed out a stunning number. When Stubbs scores a run in a game, the Reds are 25-2. Just from a strict winning percentage standpoint, I would beg to find out if there is another player in all of Major League Baseball who, when he scores a run, his team has that kind of winning percentage.
Well, I think what we're seeing with Drew Stubbs this year, I know he had a little bit of a setback with that pulled muscle in his rib cage, but I think you're seeing a more patient guy at the plate. A little more willing to go to 2 strikes. A little more willing to do that, which was very rare the first couple of years up. Now I think he gets it, and how important he is just being on base.
Well, now Joey Votto, in his last 28 games, going back to the 25th of May, a .444 batter. During this run, he has become the first Reds player since the great Frank Robinson, back in the pennant-winning season of '61, to produce at least 44 hits and 19 extra base hits over a span as few as 100 at-bats. Those are just ridiculous numbers. 44 hits in his last 19 at-bats. 13 doubles, 7 home runs. 0-2. Stubbs picked up stolen base number 14 last night in 17 attempts this year. Started 2-0. Plate umpire Jeff Kellogg said he went around and Votto knew it.
Looked like just a little slider right there that looked like a strike just momentarily. Had good depth on it as it went straight down, and Joey Votto couldn't hold back. That's where they got him last night. Down and in. I mean, scouts are here. There's got to be at least, I don't know, 8 to 10 to 12 scouts every night here watching a ball game, and everybody is writing down whatever they can is to try to figure out how to get Joey Votto out. And right now, that is the spot, and it's a real small spot, real small.
Brandon Phillips. Stubbs pretty good lead over there. They're keeping an eye on him. We brought up earlier the Reds saw Estrada the first game they played the Brewers this year back on the 7th of this month. Estrada retired the first 9 batters of the game, and then the Reds went homer, double, double, single, homer. 5 consecutive batters producing 5 runs. And that was a total allowed by Estrada in what wound up being a 7-inning outing. There goes Stubbs on a breaking ball, never going to get it. Number 15 for Drew.
Now that is the first stolen base of the year that Estrada has given up. So he paid a lot of attention to Drew Stubbs, but still Stubbs pitched a good pitch to go on, a breaking ball, the throw not anywhere close to the bag, and that's a combination of an easy stolen base for the Red center fielder. I mean, the downside of that is if he gets thrown out, you get Brandon Phillips to lead off the next inning. And at one time, Brandon Phillips was your leadoff hitter. So there was really not a lot to lose by sending Stubbs right there.
Phillips had a big 2-out hit in the 9th inning last night, driving in Stubbs. I beg your pardon, it was a 1-out hit, a 1-out double in that 8th inning that took the lead from 2-1 to 3-1. Fastball away. Well, don't forget, play along with Fox Sports Ohio. We're closing in on the top of the 2nd inning, so log on to Fox Sports Ohio right now. Click on Play Along, watch the rest of the game, and see how well you do. We'll have your bonus question coming up at the bottom of the 5th inning, but again, it closes out in the top of the 2nd, so jump on if you're able right now. Meanwhile, the St. Louis Cardinals not fooling around with Carlos Zambrano. The Cardinals are still batting in the top of the 1st inning, and they have scored 5 times. Again, Zambrano. Cardinals started to really hit the ball again after an extended quiet period. It began over the weekend when they just wore out Kansas City, and they've taken that act to South Florida. Straightaway center field, hit pretty well, but room out there for Morgan, and that's that. End of one, no score.
You know, that's the name of the game, starting pitching. You get starting pitching, boy, you got a heck of a chance, and you don't have to score a whole bunch of runs, you know, to win the ball game.
Our storyline brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK Ohio. Last 3 games, Red Starters doesn't get any better than that. Johnny Cueto on Saturday, and of course Mike Leake, the 8-inning stint that should have been a win on Sunday. Ishikawa leads off the 2nd inning and pops it up, nestling into the glove of Brandon Phillips, out number 1. Scoreless game as George Kataris makes his way to the plate. Brought up last night, Brewers are missing their regular catcher, Jonathan Lucroy. They signed him to a long-term contract at the end of spring training.
He's a good player, too.
Yep.
He's come up every year and hit better than the year before. I'm talking about Lucroy, good behind the plate. In fact, when he was injured this year, he was batting .345. So they really have a drop-off when they've lost Alex Gonzalez, Matt Gamble, Jonathan Lucroy, really the bottom 3, if you want to call it, 6, 7, and 8 in their lineup.
Well, we were talking to Freddie Gonzalez, a manager of the Atlanta Braves recently, and he talked about, you know, that's where you really see the difference. And he's right. We've talked about it before. Of the quote-unquote, the mega market teams and the mid-size, the lower market teams. You know, the Yankees have somebody go down, and Freddie Gonzalez was talking the other day. They're playing the Yankees. Teixeira wasn't feeling well. Somebody else wasn't feeling well, and you're starting Eric Chavez at first base.
Right.
Gone swinging guitars. Second one of those tonight for Arroyo.
You know, really the same thing can be said for those big market teams as you get closer and closer to the trading deadline. For instance, the Boston Red Sox are looking for pitching. And they're not looking at the bottom of the barrel. I guarantee you, they're looking for a guy like Zach Greinke, for instance, the ace of the staff here with the Milwaukee Brewers. A lot of talk recently about maybe how the Brewers are going to have to just essentially take this particular team, break it on down, trade away what tradable pieces you have, get some prospects, start from scratch, and, you know, build around Ryan Braun, because this is nowhere near the team that it was last year that won the division. But Red Sox, big market team, desperate need of pitching. They've had people watching the Brewers and watching Greinke.
Foul ground, and runs out of room. Nice catch down there in the dugout. Did he move?
Is that Livan Hernandez? Or is that Martin Maldonado, the catcher?
I don't know, but he never moved. He had his legs crossed, sit up there.
That's a young catcher, the rookie catcher, Martin Maldonado, sitting there with his glove on.
Oh, and 2 to count on Taylor Green.
Here's the catch right here.
Look at that.
That's why you always bring your ball glove to the ballpark.
Oh, just off the corner. 2-2 to Green. Only 74 at-bats for Taylor Green, 15 home runs. He was their minor league player of the year a season ago. One hopper at Phillips. And a 1-2-3 second for Bronson Arroyo. Bruce Roland Ludwig coming up in a scoreless game. To the 15th, Reds and the Cardinals. Series presented by Cincinnati Bell. We got the Friday night fireworks, weekend of giveaways. 381 Reds, or visit Reds.com. Right into the fire. That first series after the break. The Reds against the defending world champions, and Reds trying to serve notice. The race being on here in 2012. Our Farmers Insurance report card on Jay Bruce and his career against the Brewers. Very impressive. Nearly an RBI per game. He had 2 of them here last night. That is the 3rd strikeout in the early going here for Marco Estrada.
He's gotten really 2 of the 3 strikeouts on that breaking ball. You see him drop that little slider on Jay Bruce. He did the same thing to Joey Votto. He did sneak a fastball by Zach Cozart. But that was a hanger right there that Estrada got away with one.
1 to Scott Rowland. 202 batted, 3 home runs and 16 batted in. Rough night for Scotty here last night. Got rung up twice on pitches he thought were well out of the strike zone, and he appeared to be correct. Wound up striking out 4 times. One ball, 2 strikes on Rowland. Struck him out on a fastball. 4 of them through the first 6 Reds to come to the plate. Now Ryan Ludwig only got 2 at-bats last night, 3 plate appearances, grounded out twice and drew a walk. Reds only had 7 hits in a game last night. Giovanni Gallardo allowed 4 of them, and the Reds got 3 against the Milwaukee bullpen.
Right now, Estrada's got 3 pitches working, and really that's the only 3 he throws. He throws a breaking ball, a fastball, and a changeup. And he'll throw that changeup to anybody, including right-handers, and he's got a pretty good feel of it so far.
He is struck out the side. End of 2. No score at Great American Ballpark. Thanks to the Ohio, looking into the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Those folks up there just enjoying a beautiful day along what Millionaires Row they call it over there. They've got some spectacular houses. You know, one time I think Francisco Cordero had one of those houses over there.
I believe you're right.
I mean, they are really, really nice and looking smack dab across the river. There's Torres, Estrada, then back to the top in Aoki. against Arroyo here in the third. Scoreless game. Only one base runner for each team. Braun hit by a pitch and Stubbs drew a walk. And look at Votto. Gold Glove winner. Takes care of his tourists. Man can do it all.
I'll tell you what, there are simply no holes in this infield. If you're a ground ball pitcher, you're going to get a lot of great plays behind you, and Joey Votto is going to deliver a whole bunch of them. Lays out for that one, a little backhanded toss to Arroyo, who gets there in front of the Brewers shortstop. That saves a double.
Right back to the mound, another Gold Glove winner for out number 2. Well, we brought it up earlier. We understand later in the week. Of course, the Reds are hitting the road after the game tomorrow. An 11-game West Coast trip leading up to the All-Star break, so they're not going to be home for well over 2 weeks. But golly day. The weather yesterday and today, and we understand again tomorrow. If you're a fan, if you're a player, I mean, it just does not get any better than what we have certainly been blessed with here the last number of days. Highs in the low 80s, no humidity, nice breeze, just perfect. You don't see anybody in the stands sort of fanning themselves off, although I don't know how that Steeler guy got in here. Take a look at that.
Probably forced his way in. See the size of him?
Yeah, I don't want to mess with that guy. He might be a lineman for the Steelers. Maybe some guy from here in the area.
Yeah, I bet he heard that if the Reds pitchers strike out 11, that they get free pizza and ice cream. And he's thinking, hey, Latos did it last night. I'll knock a few cold ones back tonight and wait for the pizza to be served later on. It's a Berg thing.
That's an everywhere thing. A little late night zog, a little ice cream, and shut her down. Come on, man. What are you talking about? A Berg thing? At bat 12, text it back to 31826 or visit Reds.com for details. As you know, if a Reds player hits a Toyota sign during our game tonight, Amy Hobel of Hamilton wins the beautiful new Tundra. And why not register for your chance to win it? Just stop by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. Last of the third inning. No score in the game. 8, 9, and 1 in the order coming up. Hannigan, Arroyo, and then Kozai. Reds in search of their first hit. In fact, neither team with a hit so far. Maybe now, and Aoki makes a nice sliding, tumbling grab out in short right field.
Well, the people that have seen him play a lot will tell you the more you watch him play, the more you like him. He won 3 Gold Gloves when he played in the major leagues over in Japan. Won a batting title over there. And he gets a good jump on that ball. He accounted for the only Brewers run last night when he took Matt Latos deep, spoiled the shutout.
Arroyo 4 hits and 22 at bats. Strada through the first 2 innings had faced 7 batters, I beg your pardon, and struck out 5 of the 7. Now make it 6 strikeouts. The first time through the entire batting order. Well, right now at FoxSportsOhio.com, Sam Amico has the latest mock draft for the NBA. And as always, you can log on and chat live during the game with Hall of Fame writer Hal McCoy. It's all on FoxSportsOhio.com. Here's Cozart. He struck out leading off the Reds' first inning. Breaking ball in there, strike. Philadelphia and the Pirates meeting for a second straight night in Philadelphia. Phillies getting an opening game win last night and a 2-1 lead at the end of 2 tonight. That Philadelphia team 5 games under 500. 8 back of the Washington Nationals in the National League East. Long drive in a deep left center field. Morgan on the run, and that baby is caught by Morgan. And even blast open the wall out there on that running catch. What a play by Nyjer Morgan. Takes away a double. Well, it's only natural that after making that play a moment ago that Nyjer Morgan would be the man to lead off the following half inning. That's when you want to get a job done. You just kick it. There's a fly ball in a short left, and Ludwig runs it down. I've seen you do that before.
Well, I used to have cars that unless you kicked it a couple of times in the right spot, they'd never start.
No runs, no hits for the Brewers. They've had only one base runner, and that's this man, Ryan Braun. He got hit with a 3-2 pitch on the left elbow by Bronson Arroyo in the first inning. No runs, no hits, one base runner. A walk to Drew Stubbs in the Reds' first inning. Oh, where did that miss?
Now, we've had a couple of umpires back-to-back nights. If you look at their number, Tom, and of course that number is the percentage of strikes they call out of all the pitches they see. These guys are on the high end, including Jeff Kellogg tonight.
That slow breaking ball, that's what we've talked about, Chris. That old theory of Bob Melvin, now the Oakland A's manager, that if you flip it up there 68 miles per hour or less, some of the numbers, at least, that he has done some research on, at least according again to Bob Melvin, is not a lot of guys hit it.
Well, that's what Bronson Arroyo threw up there to Ryan Braun. Let's take a look at our pitch by pitch brought to you by Mazda. First pitch changeup outside, 76 miles an hour. Next pitch, hey, I think I'll pull the string. Big, slow curveball, and Ryan Braun pops it up. That's almost like an unlimited arc softball pitch.
And this one popped up into short right. Phillips going out there to get it. How about that? A 5-pitch inning for Bronson Arroyo. Years by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com and by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Great night to be out on the boat. Great night to be out doing heck anything. Two, 3, and 4 in the Reds batting order against Marco Estrada in a scoreless game here in the last of the 4th inning. Stubbs, a lone Reds base runner, drew a walk with 1 out in the first inning, stole second with 2 outs, and wound up stranded right there. Told you Estrada was reinstated from the 15-day disabled list just today and had been on there just over a month. Chris touched on it earlier, a white quadriceps strain when he was trying to turn a single into a double. He made 2 rehab starts at their AAA team in Nashville, Tennessee, and threw the ball very, very well in those 2 outings, but has not won a game as a starter this year. Strike 3 called, and that is 7 of them for Estrada tonight, and we're at 1 batter into the bottom of the 4th inning.
I mean, who says you have to be upper 90s to be a strikeout pitcher? Man, Marco Estrada is just throwing that ball on the corners, changing speeds. Just a little bit of comeback action on that fastball. Boy, he's talking about painting the corners. He is right out there with that detail brush tonight.
He has only had 1 game this year where he struck out more than 5 batters, and that was his very first start of the year against Colorado, when he struck out 9 in 5 innings of work.
He's got a solid delivery. If you look at him, he's got a kind of a very abbreviated step. He almost pitches like he's out of the stretch position, but a very slow leg lift. But he really gathers himself before he starts going to the plate. What you like about him from a pitching coach's standpoint is that when he brings that left leg up and he points that foot, and that leg almost goes all the way down to the ground, still staying strong over the rubber before he starts driving to the plate.
Well, he has really made Votto look bad 2 times up, striking him out twice and finishing him off on that same breaking ball.
I mean, it's just a nice tight little breaking ball. You see the spin on it right there, and boy, he gets you on the speed, he gets you on the break of it, and that's a great look at our Performance Honda Expo replay.
Two out, and a swing and a miss by Brandon Phillips. Brandon flied out to center field, ending the Reds' first inning.
Now you consider where Estrada came from, Tom, and he's a guy that originally drafted by the Nationals, brought through their organization, and the Brewers picked him up on waivers just before last season. Pitched in 40-plus games for the Brewers out of the bullpen last year.
There's the first hit tonight for the Reds, a 2-out single by Brandon Phillips, and it ends a string of 10 in a row set down by Estrada.
First hit tonight for either ball team.
So now Jay Bruce with Brandon at first and 2 out. They put the big shift again on Jay Bruce, and he looks at a fastball right down the middle, a called strike. Jay, the 4th most home runs among all National Leaguers. You have Beltran and Braun, each with 20. You have Carlos Gonzalez of Colorado with 17. And then Jay Bruce, 16.
Well, Bruce is normally a guy that likes what he sees coming out of the hand of Marco Estrada. He's 3 for 9, and not including the at-bat he's had tonight, and 2 of those hits have been home runs.
1-1 account on Bruce with Phillips over at first. He got his third stolen base of the year in as many attempts in a game last night. That's when he stole third. Off the inside edge, 2-1 on Jay Bruce. Now 3-1. Bruce looking for something to hammer.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's exactly accurate, but it seems like this is the first 3-1 count Estrada's had all night. He's been ahead of the hitters. Might be a good hitting spot here for Bruce.
Yeah, the only other time he went 3-1 was the second batter of the game. That's when he was 3-1 on Stubbs and wound up walking in. That's the only other base runner the Reds have had all night, up until that single by Brandon just a moment ago. 3-1 to Jay, and here it comes. Nowhere near it. Threw him a 3-1 breaking ball, and a 2-out rally here with a single and a walk, and Scott Rowland coming up in a visit to the mound by Kotaris.
Well, if you're thinking about it as you're Marco Estrada, you're thinking, hey, you know, I got Joey Votto out. I've struck him out twice. I got Jay Bruce here. He's the one guy, even though it's a limited sample size, only 9 at-bats, he has taken me deep twice. So I guarantee you Estrada knows that, so he's not going to throw him a 3-1 fastball. So he's going to take his chance with Scott Rowland.
Rowland has struck out all 5 times up in the first game and 1 at bat of this series. Right at the second baseman Green, and the Reds strand 2. We move to the 5th, still a scoreless game. Game and strike out at least 13 batters. You're going to go back a ways. The key to this is a complete game.
13 is a lot.
It really is.
And my first guess was Aaron Harang, which I think he had 13 in a ball game, but evidently he did not throw a complete game.
No. Of course, Chris, you were on hand as a broadcaster for the Reds. I happen to be a broadcaster for the team they were playing that night in Phoenix, Arizona, where, you know, we witnessed something that's only happened 3 times, or by 3 pitchers, in the history of Major League Baseball, and that's 20 strikeouts in a game. We saw Randy Johnson do it and did not get the win.
Yeah.
When the Reds were out in the desert.
In fact, I can't say he was outdueled that night, but I think it was Chris Rietzman that pitched against him and matched him just about 0 for 0. In fact, it was nice to see Chris Rietzman. the last couple of days at the Sean Casey Hall of Fame induction.
You know, by the way, you were talking about some of the teammates that came back. Our good buddy Bill Poffenberger, who's on the Hall of Fame board, reminded me last night. He thinks the other guy you might have been trying to think of, and you and I were talking about, Eddie Taubensee was here.
Taubie, yep, you're right.
Scoreless game here in the 5th. Ishikawa, Kataris, Taylor, Green against Bronson Arroyo, who's allowed the one base runner when he hit Ryan Braun in the 1st. He's retired 10 in a row. A little bit off the end of the bat. Carries out the Drew Stubbs, make it 11 straight retired by Bronson. Katara struck out swinging his first 2 up. And this one popped up on the very first pitch. 2 out. The Columbus Crew looking to rebound from their last defeat with a win this coming Saturday night. They'll be in Salt Lake, or take on Salt Lake at Crew Stadium. Dwight Burgess, Duncan Auten have all the action Saturday 8 p.m. on the home of the Crew, Fox Sports Ohio. Last 3 innings, Arroyo has thrown a total in 3 innings of 21 pitches, and that is to get 8 outs. Taylor Green hit the ball hard, but right at Brandon Phillips his first time up. Ball 1 away.
Tom, I'll ask you the question because you seem to be a guy that pays attention to this. A lot of first pitch swinging on the part of the Brewers. I mean, if you're Johnny Naron, the hitting coach for the Brewers, are you telling them, hey, Bronson Arroyo's not going to blow you away with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball? Why are you going up there swinging at a first pitch changeup and popping it up in the infield? I think the Reds have caught, what, 5 or 6 pop-up outs in the infield so far today. I mean, is it something that maybe they should be a little more patient with at the plate?
I feel like I kind of say that about a lot of teams, including our own team, on a regular basis. I mean, there is a reason why it seems like, besides spending a lot of money, the teams that have a lot of veteran players are teams that generally take a lot of pitches and they aren't afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
And they run the pitcher's count up. They get into the bullpen, and sometimes things happen, but not tonight for Bronson Arroyo.
5 hitless innings so far for Arroyo, and still no score in the game. Choose a player that will be the first to get a hit in the 8th inning. And if you're not playing along, well, make sure to join us at foxsportsohio.com every Tuesday throughout the year. Winners will be announced in our post-game Reds Live. Ludwig, Hannigan, Arroyo against Marco Estrada. Only one hit for either team in a game, and that was a single by Brandon Phillips with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Reds stranded 2 in that inning. Arroyo's retired the last 13 batters. 0-2 on Ludwig. And Arroyo has only faced 1 batter over the minimum. Another strikeout, a breaking ball down and away from Ludwig. Second time he struck him out, and that is 9 of them, matching a career high.
Well, he's making it look awfully easy tonight. So is Bronson Arroyo. That's a changeup right there. But, you know, Arroyo's getting the Brewers to pop out in the infield in unprecedented numbers. We've got 6 pop-ups in the infield. Rarely do you see that. There you go, Marco Estrada. Not a strikeout pitcher at all, but he struck out 9. Here we are with 1 out in the 5th.
We mentioned the only time he has fanned more than 5 batters in his starts this year, tonight being his 7th, was the very first start he made, and they had to take him out of that game because they had moved him from the bullpen after Chris Narveson went down for the year. In 5 innings, he allowed 1 run against Colorado, striking out 9. Hopper down to third. Ramos Ramirez throws out Hannigan. 2 up, 2 down. Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting, healthier products for your menu. JTM. On Bronson Arroyo. Two and one. And there's a base hit by Arroyo. But that wasn't a tough, an easy pitch to get the bat on. That looked like it was down and in on him. And he almost golfed that thing into center field.
He kind of reached for the last one. This time he doesn't have to reach for it. You see the action on that fastball started middle and then ended up middle in. Arroyo can swing the bat. After the bat, Latos laid out 2 line drive base hits last night. The performance bar for pitchers at the plate has gone up a little bit.
By Cozart now had that double taken away on the great catch. Crashing into the wall and nearly through the wall made by Niger Morgan, ending the 3rd inning. Good breaking ball in the outside corner to even the count. 2 hits for the Reds, none for the Brewers. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. And neither team has dented a plate of yet. Still 2-2 on Kozak. Reds are going to see, as you generally do when you go to San Francisco in recent years, some very good starting pitching from the Giants. Got Madison Bumgarner, Matt Cain, Barry Zito threw a shutout last night against the Dodgers. Cozart looks at a fastball right down the middle of the plate. 10 strikeouts, a career high for Marco Estrada. All right, that's the story so far. Good defense, even better pitching by Bronson Arroyo, is yet to allow a hit. Marco Estrada has allowed 2 hits. And we're on our way to the top of the 6th inning. 8-9-1 in the batting order for Ron Renicke's team. Cesar Izturis, Marco Estrada, and then the pitcher, then the leadoff man, Aoki. This man right here probably hit the ball harder than anybody in the lineup. And Cesar Izturis hit it up the first base line, and Votto took away a double with a diving play behind the bag. Slow roller, do or die play, and doing it is Scotty Rowland for the first out here in the 6th.
That is some serious D. A swinging bunt, so you freeze momentarily before you charge it, and man, oh man. That's as good as it gets. I mean, putting something on that throw, too.
So the first out here in the 6th inning. Slow breaking ball drops in there to Estrada. Strike one. That's the kind of play you see it, and especially as you point out, Chris, the throw. Well, you know how strong a man's got to be, that arm, to make that throw from that angle while you're running. That's a serious arm, man.
Of course, the surgery that Scott Rowland has had on his arm has not been his throwing arm. It's been his glove arm.
Let's quickly answer our AT&T trivia question. The last Red to throw a complete game with as many as 13 strikeouts. What Matt Latos did last night was
Big Rig, Ron Valone. Happened against St. Louis. 16 of them that night. I think not only did he strike out 16, but he also, like Matt Latos last night, had 2 base hits in that ball game. That put him in very rarefied air.
Aoki is hit a leadoff hard ground ball, one hopper that sprung off the grass. Arroyo went leaping into the air and hit off the top of his glove, and then ricocheted directly into the mitt of Brandon Phillips, who threw out Aoki. That's the way the night began for Bronson Arroyo. And here's a 1-1. High hopper, 6 innings, and the Brewers without a hit. We move to the bottom of the 6th. Still no score. To the break, it'll be the Reds and the Cardinals. Stick around after the game. Brandon Phillips post-game fireworks jam. Some of his favorites thanks to PNC Bank. For tickets to that big series with the Cardinals rolling in. 3-1 Reds, or visit Reds.com. Before every game here on Fox Sports Ohio, we'll get you started with Reds Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing on the home of the Reds, Fox Sports Ohio. Be coming your way early tomorrow, high noon. Jim Day and Jeff Pecoro with Reds Live in the finale of this series. 12:35 start. Tickets are available. Why not come on down? Going to be another beautiful day. Well, 2 pitchers on top of their respective games here tonight. Estrada, 5 innings, has allowed 2 hits. Struck out already a career high 10. And Arroyo has yet to surrender a hit. has retired 16 consecutive base batters, and has only allowed 1 base runner when he hit Ryan Braun with a pitch with 2 outs in the first inning. To Ano to Drew Stubbs. He'll be followed by Votto and then Brandon Phillips. A big inning here for the Reds. Chase had 89-mile-an-hour fastball up in the strike zone, and Stubbs comes up empty.
Well, it's all about deception, obviously. You know, hitters don't hit the radar gun readings on the scoreboard. They hit what they see. And if you have a pitcher that is deceptive, he throws harder than he appears to throw or softer than he appears to throw. That's where that deception comes in. And Estrada is extremely deceptive tonight. That's 11 of them.
Every Red has struck out with the exceptions of Brandon Phillips and Ryan Hannigan. Cozart twice, Stubbs twice, surprisingly Votto twice, Bruce, Rowland, Ludwig twice, and Arroyo. When they've gone to get Votto out on strikes tonight, that's where they've gone twice with that breaking ball down and in on him. Back-to-back fastballs, and Votto fouls out one off. Talk about Joey Votto. Now the leading vote getter among all National League players, leapfrogging the injured Matt Kemp. How about that for Votto? Nearly 4.5 million votes. Two and two. That's 3 fastballs in a row there now, Chris. Are you thinking breaking ball here now 2-2 after 3 straight fastballs?
I'm not so sure that I throw him a breaking ball.
That ball is kissed off the wall. Votto double, number 31 on the year.
Well, it wasn't a breaking ball. It was a 79-mile-an-hour curveball. And the reason I said that, Tom, is that it seemed like Joey Votto, he took a fastball that was seemingly right down the middle. He gets a breaking ball right here, and he fouled off a couple of fastballs, and that's telling me that he's looking breaking ball in this at bat. The whole at bat, he's looking for Marco Estrada's curveball. He finally got it, ripped it over the head of the left fielder, and he is safe at second, safe and secure.
New York life. Got to change it up, man. Reds need a play to run here.
Quick. Got to be patient. Let the game come to you.
Third time tonight the Reds have had a runner in scoring position. But this time with 1 out in the heart of the order. Up, and here's a base hit into left field there with a hold Votto. A one-hop laser right at Braun, and Mark Berry wisely not going to take the chance.
Braun was fielding that ball even before Joey Votto got within 6 feet of third base. And there's just no way in the world. Braun has got a good arm. He's normally very accurate. He keeps his throw down. I mean, 6 feet. He wasn't 12 feet from third base. So the same thing, remember, happened to Marco Estrada. Of course, he's been much better tonight through the first 5 1/3. But when the doors came off for him against the Reds last time, boy, did they ever come off big time.
So now Bruce, who has struck out and walked. And this one is hammered into right center field. Bye-bye.
Tom, you said at the very beginning of the inning that this is a big inning for the Reds. They had their main men coming up here. Votto, Phillips, and Bruce, each one of them have delivered. But nobody bigger than Jay Bruce right there with a first pitch breaking ball hanger, bye-bye homer, and 3 on the board here for the Reds.
Now rolling 0 for 2. Jay Bruce is moved into a third place tie on the National League home run leaderboard with Carlos Gonzalez. He's with 17. Had a big time to get it. Of course, you know, we talk all the time during Reds Live, although somewhat dormant of late, a return tonight of the checklist by Chris Welsh leading up to the first pitch, and that's something you talked about in regard to Jay Bruce. So right on the button. That's why so many like having that checklist as part of the pregame show, something to look forward to in the ball game. That Estrada had allowed the 9 home runs in 36 innings. There's strike 3 to Roland, and there are 2 out in the inning. 12 strikeouts for Estrada. Good call there, Chris Welsh.
Yeah, I just called what's happened in the past. I wasn't predicting the future, but you know, when you give up 9 home runs, if you're Marco Estrada coming into this ball game and you've only walked 7, that shows me that you're around the plate and you're hittable. Now, he had a lot of strikeouts, but Jay Bruce hits his 3rd career home run off of Estrada, puts a smile on his face, and 3 runs on the board.
Checklist.
I'm glad you paid attention to the checklist tonight.
I do.
You always seem to get back right in here to the TV booth just in time.
That is why I talk about it pretty regularly. The checklist. Checklist. Two now on Ludwig, who's already struck out twice in a game. 12 of them for Estrada. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to begin with a 1-out double off the left field wall by Joey Votto. Brandon Phillips a single, and then a long one off the bat of Jay Bruce in a 3-0 Reds lead. Into right field. He's got it, and that will retire the side. But damage done thanks to Jay Bruce and company, and a 3-0 Reds lead. Monday through Thursday home games for $80 total. You get 4 view level tickets plus 4 $10 concession credits. The credits are automatically loaded on the barcode of each game ticket and are redeemable throughout anywhere in the ballpark. Merchandise included. Visit Reds.com/reach for more details. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Reds. No runs, no hits for Milwaukee. Here's Nyjer Morgan. We're in the 7th inning. 1-1 to count. 2, 3, and 4 in the batting order. Foul out of play. Morgan is struck out swinging tonight and flied out to left. 16 in a row been set down by Arroyo. On the ground at Brandon Phillips, and this is out number 1 in the 7th. The only Brewer to reach base was this man. Way back in the 1st inning with 2 down and nobody on. He was hit on the left elbow on a 3-2 fastball. Braun, the best hitter in the Milwaukee lineup. Strike 1 on the inside corner. You've got Aramis Ramirez due up next. We are in the 7th inning. And the Brewers still in search of their first base hit tonight. 0-2.
Or someone like last night, Bronson Arroyo throwing a lot of strikes, not nearly the same ratio, but still more than 2-to-1 strikes over balls for Arroyo tonight.
Holy mackerel, how do you not get that call? One and 2 to count on Braun. And he muscled that one back to the screen on a pitch up and in. There's 78 pitches in the game. Only the 1st inning had any length to it. 23 of those 78 in the 1st. 1 and 2 to count on Ryan Braun. Caught by Phillips on the line drive. Phillips was positioned perfectly. Otherwise, that's the first hit of the night for Milwaukee.
Now, that's the hardest hit ball of the night by the Milwaukee Brewers. There's no doubt about it. But nowadays, you see more exacting defense being played. If the guy hits a ball up the middle and the chart shows that, you're going to put a guy there. And what would have been a base hit is just an easy out for Brandon Phillips.
popped up. Foul ground. Votto over near the dugout. Not a rule. "18 consecutive batters set down by Arroyo since Braun was hit by a pitch in the first inning. The only Brewer to reach base tonight. A hit batsman in the opening inning." So mighty tough out here in Ramirez. That one sails up under his chin. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ramirez tonight is flied out to Jay Bruce and then popped up to Bruce again in short right. In the air, right center field. Bruce is there. 7 innings in the book. And the Brewers still without a hit. And you're starting to feel it now a little bit at Great American Ballpark. By Cincinnati Children's, ranking 3rd in the nation for 2012 best children's hospitals in America, and by the dependable, long-lasting Chevy Silverado and your tri-state Chevy dealers. Reds bat last of the 7th inning with a 3-0 lead. Yes, that's the biggest part of the story. But the Milwaukee Brewers have 2 more innings to try and collect their first hit as Tim Dillard, pitching in his 31st game, takes over on the mound, replacing Marco Estrada, who struck out a career-high 13 batters and allowed only 5 hits, but 3 of them came consecutively in the Reds' 6th inning. On a double to Votto, a single by Phillips, and a 3-run home run by Jay Bruce. Estrada walked 2 in addition to the 5 hits allowed. Chris, have you ever been in the dugout at this point of a game, whether it was you on the mound or one of your teammates on the mound, where you know exactly what is going on when you look at that scoreboard and the hit total for the opposition as you're looking ahead of the 8th inning?
Yeah, I have, Tom, a couple of times, as a matter of fact. And the tension in the dugout builds just like it does in the rest of the ballpark. And there's a lot of different superstitions that go along with a guy that is spinning a kind of game that Arroyo is tonight. One of which is all of a sudden you leave him alone. In the first couple of innings, you may be in there chatting, and you know Bronson Arroyo, he's the kind of guy that he's chatty on a day that he pitches. You can't tell the day he pitches from the day he didn't pitch. But all of a sudden, guys will begin to shy away from him or not. They don't want to be the one to put any kind of negative energy out there.
I don't know if everybody's superstitious, but I certainly think there are a lot of people are. But, you know, this is the one, and I never played, never put on a uniform down there, but it's one I've just never understood. I mean, if you'll talk to a guy in the second inning, you can just as easily allow a hit in the second or the third as you can the seventh, the eighth, or the ninth.
Well, you'll talk to him if he comes over to talk to you first. But you don't go over to him and start up a conversation. Hey, what's going on tonight? Do you know you're throwing your no-no?
Well, no, that part I get. But I mean, just if, you know, if you're
hey, you got the middle of the order coming up, you better really bear down next inning.
No, that I get. That I get. Of course, that I get. But you know what I'm saying, though. You know, I mean, if he had given up 2 runs to this point in time and he had a 3-2 lead.
This guy on deck's a good curveball hitter.
Well, then we'll stay away from that. But our job is to describe the game up here. And obviously there are a lot of people out there that want to know what's going on. And this is what's going on as Arroyo swings and fouls it out of play.
One person who wants to know what's going on, we want to say hi to her, is Beatrice Thompson. Out there in Middletown, the grandmother of Thomas Tank Howard. Came around today. We want to wish you a belated happy birthday and thanks for being a fan for so many years.
What a good guy, Thomas Tank Howard. Great to see him tonight. Boy, he still looks great. I know that he's been sharing time living with his mom up in Middletown and also some time in Atlanta, but he's trying to really kickstart again some of the little league baseball play up in Middletown and trying to get kids back and playing again, not just the select teams that you see everywhere, but kids who just want to play baseball. Maybe they can't play for a select team, and not because maybe they're not good enough. There are a lot of kids that can't afford a select team for what they're charging to play some of these days.
And we shouted out to Beatrice because she was Thomas Tank Howard's first batting coach. His grandma.
She was a good one.
You're not kidding.
Short hop by Ramirez, so we're on our way to the 8th inning. The Brewers have Ishikawa, Kataris, and Taylor Green coming up. Club level the ballpark. Great spot to conduct your business in Cincinnati. Contact the Red Special Events Department at 765-7065 and book your next meeting. So Bronson Arroyo getting the ball from Scott Rowland out behind the mound, and he'll come climbing up the back of it, having gone 7 no-hit innings, and his team has a 3-0 lead. Travis Ishikawa has popped up to Brandon Phillips, and he is flied out to center field. The only base runner of the night, Ryan Braun, hit with a pitch in the very first inning. That's been it. Strike one.
Yeah, we got to note, Tom, that the home plate umpire, Jeff Kellogg, tonight has been behind the plate for 2 previous no-hitters. Back in 2006 for Anibal Sanchez.
I was at that game. No kidding.
And in 2010 for Ubaldo Jimenez. In fact, the catcher was the same for each of those, Miguel Olivo.
Wow. Pulled foul, and it's 1-2 to count. Arroyo begins this inning with 83 pitches. Tack on 3 more, and this at bat to Ishikawa. And that is strike 3 called on a bell-high fastball, and that's strikeout number 4 tonight for Arroyo. 1 out in the 8th.
It's where he throws his fastball that makes a lot of difference in a normal game for Bronson Arroyo, but even more so tonight. Right at the very top end of the strike zone, Ishikawa backing out of there.
Breaking ball, strike 1 of the catcher, George Kataris, who struck out swinging in the 2nd inning and popped out to Scott Rowland at 3rd in the 5th. A ball and a strike. Arroyo set to uncork his 90th pitch of the game. We're 1 out into this 8th inning, and the Brewers without a base hit. 2-1. Arroyo's retired the last 20 Brewers that have come to the plate. And now to 3-1 on Kataris. Breaking ball on the outside corner. The count is full. Payoff pitch as Arroyo kicks and delivers. And he missed ball 4.
You can almost see that ball just kind of come out of his hand too early. Almost slipped out of his hand on that one.
Like Chris, he has not thrown a pitch out of the stretch since the 1st inning.
Yeah.
Is there one pitch that you probably want to make sure you throw here? Anything different out of the stretch at this point in the game?
I think he's got a good groove on everything. I mean, his main pitch tonight, obviously, like every other night, has been his curveball. And the ability to change speeds on it. He's thrown some changeups tonight, more changeups tonight than he's thrown in most of the ball games that I've seen him throw so far this year.
Taylor Green getting to start at second base in place of Ricky Weeks tonight has bounced to second and popped to short. A ball and a strike on Green, the number 7 hitter in the Milwaukee lineup.
It's hard to tell yourself to do this, but what you have to do, I imagine, if you're Bronson Arroyo, but I've never gotten to the 8th inning with a no-no, is you say to yourself, let's do the same thing in this inning that I did the previous innings. You don't need to reinvent anything. No reason to come up with a new pitch. Just keep plugging right along.
There's that breaking ball, and that's a strike. 1-2. Hook down the right field line, and that is a fair ball into the corner. A stand-up double off the bat of rookie Taylor Green, and the no-hit bid comes to an end. 1 out into the 8th inning for Bronson Arroyo. Now Corey Hart is going to be set up there as a pinch hitter. Now all of a sudden, with that no-hitter, the bid for a no-hitter by the board, Arroyo's got to make sure that he keeps his 3-0 lead. Just fair.
Very close down the line right there. What a legit hit. And now you're thinking about preserving the shutout.
Straight away center field. This ball is hammered, and Stubbs will play it off the wall. 2 runs are going to score, so 2 swings. The no-hitter gone, the shutout gone, and it's a 1-run game.
And now you're thinking about preserving the win. Things change pretty quickly around here. They did for Marco Estrada on the swing of a bat by Jay Bruce that resulted in a 3-run homer. And back-to-back doubles by Green and Corey Hart. And you're going to get some double-barrel action going down the Reds bullpen. Dusty Baker, who's really has witnessed his team over the last few days since Johnny Cueto threw that 6-0 shutout against the Minnesota Twins. Mike Leake went out and then pitched himself a whale of a ball game. Reds eventually lost that when Chapman gave up a couple of runs in the last inning. Matt Latos pitches a complete game 13 strikeout performance last night, and Arroyo takes a no-hitter through 7, or make it through 8 1/4, 7 1/4.
Andrusik and Marshall cranking it up in the Reds bullpen after that visit to the mound, and now another pinch hitter. It's going to be Ricky Weeks. That's a tying run now at second base, and Weeks pops it up on the first pitch, and Cozart with room, and alertly Brandon Phillips goes racing in from his second base position to get over to third. And now the question is, with Aoki coming up, does Dusty Baker go get Bronson Arroyo and bring in the left-hander Sean Marshall? Tying run is out there at second base, and it doesn't look like Dusty Baker's going anywhere. Well, you got back-to-back left-handed hitters here, and this young man has proven. Now, granted, the word on Aoki when he came over was that he actually hits left-handers better than he does right-handers. Sean Marshall, as we know, is no ordinary left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I think the other thing there, Tom, you're thinking about is that you're facing a guy now for the 4th time tonight. Aoki must have thought, after seeing Arroyo's first at bat, after seeing Matt Latos firing the ball in there at 95 and 96 last night, and now I got this guy throwing curveballs at 68 miles an hour. What's going on here? But he's seen him 3 times.
Aoki is a .297 hitter against left-handed pitching, .271 against the right-handers. But again, as Chris points out, and a great point indeed, it's the 4th time he's had to face Aoki tonight. Breaking ball in the outside corner, strike. Fastball high. Reds leading by a run. Milwaukee did not have a hit coming into this 8th inning. Arroyo struck out Ishikawa, walked Katars after retiring 20 batters in a row. Then gave up a double, another double, and the Brewers have scored twice to get within a run. 2-1 on Aoki. And that's a tying run. Corey Hart out there at second base. Strike two. Let's see the crowd will really get behind Arroyo here, looking for that final strike and that final out in the 8th inning. Served into left field, a base hit, and this game is tied up. A 2-out single by Aoki. A 3-3 game here in the 8th inning. Dusty Baker made the decision to stay with Arroyo. Aoki did not hit it hard, but found the hole, and all of a sudden we begin anew here in the 8th.
Well, the guy does a pretty good job right here. That ball is out of the strike zone. And he just lays the very end of the bat on it, finds a hole on the left side of the infield. Well, disappointing outcome overall, I'm sure, for Bronson Arroyo from a win-loss standpoint. But, man, oh, man, what an effort by the Reds right-hander tonight.
Skyline call to the bullpen. Will summon Sean Marshall. Arroyo had not allowed a hit through 7 1/3 innings. He walked the batter, gave up back-to-back doubles, got an out, and then surrenders a game-tying base hit. So we're 3-3 in the 8th with a runner at first, Aoki, and here comes left-hander Sean Marshall to face a second consecutive left-handed batter to come to the plate. Nyjer Morgan, although now Ron Renneke will take Morgan down. So they've used 3 pinch hitters spanning the last 4 batters. Cody Ransom, 0-2 on Ransom. Well, Ransom taking forever and a day to get in the batter's box. Now he's in there. 0-2 the count. Well, the air's been taken right out of the sails in this ballpark. Big crowd again tonight. Bronson Arroyo, 7 1/3 innings of no-hit baseball, obviously shutout baseball, and within a span of 5 batters, the Brewers have tied the game. As Marshall continues to throw over to first base, Aoki is 9 out of 11 in stolen base attempts on the year. It's a very wide lead over there. 0-2 the count on Ransom with 2 out. Runner goes. Breaking ball just missed, and no throw down by Hannigan. No chance. I tell you what, the Brewers had a hard time a lot of this year scoring runs, but Ron Renicky will not let that stop him from being as aggressive on the bases really as any manager in baseball. Right-hand man to Mike Scioscia for many years in Anaheim. They don't care if it's a left-hander, right-hander on the mound, makes no difference. They will run. Straight up. Hitting over, but damage done. 3 runs to tie the game. Reds have Stubbs, Votto, and Phillips coming up. Cozart in the left center field. He busted open the gate out there when he ran into it and caught it.
Well, I see that play, Tom, by Niger Morgan tonight. It reminds me of the play that Lorenzo Cain, in a Milwaukee Brewer uniform, made going up against the scoreboard in left center field. May have been one of the more dramatic catches we've ever seen here at this ballpark.
Well, you're not lying. Number of changes after all the pinch hitters. You've got Aoki from right into center field. Corey Hart comes in to play right field. And the new pitcher is John Axford, their closer. First pitch swinging, Stubbs to straightaway center field. The lead belongs to the Reds.
For a first pitch fastball and getting one right down Broadway. Just a good solid swing right out the front door. And a 4-3 lead. All of a sudden this crowd that really had the wind taken out of it when the Brewers came back and scored 3 off of Arroyo, broke up his no-no. And they have been re-energized right now.
Of course, Axford had one of the best seasons that any closer has ever had last year. But my, oh my, has this season gone the other way. He had 49 straight saves from April of last year through the end of the regular season into the postseason and through the first month of this season. But now all of a sudden he's blown 4 saves, strikes out Votto, has an earned run average up over 5 to go along with 4 losses.
Well, if you look between the numbers for John Axford, the numbers themselves, and I'm talking about the speed of his fastball and the break of his breaking ball, those have remained the same. It's not like all of a sudden he was throwing 97 and now he's throwing 87. He feels like his stuff is still there, but they're just not swinging and missing like they used to.
Aroldis Chapman is cranking it up in the Reds bullpen. Drew Stubbs comes off the disabled list before the game last night after missing a little over 3 weeks. On base 3 times, steals a base, scores a couple of runs. Tonight has been on twice, a stolen base, and now breaks a 3-3 tie with a first pitch home run to center here in the 8th inning. Welcome back, Drew Stubbs. Brandon Phillips, 2 hits tonight, has scored a run. 2-1. Breaking ball there from the Milwaukee right-hander, even a count of 2-2. You're looking ahead to the Brewers' 9th inning. Braun, Ramirez, and Ishikawa. Righty, righty, lefty. What city was named one of the top 3 places to visit in 2012 in the United States? You got it, Cincinnati. Book your weekend getaway at CincinnatiUSA.com. Stubbs on the first pitch thrown by John Axford out of the Milwaukee bullpen. Shoots one to the berm and straightaway center field to give the Reds a 1-run lead. That's gas right there from Axford. 2 out. Don't forget Reds Live coming up after the game. Presented by Kings Honda and the Kings Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com. Chris Welsh, a big part of Reds Live pregame and the postgame. He'll be standing by with Jim Day and Jeff Piecoro. And we are on our way to the 9th. Aroldis Chapman trying to nail it down. He'll face Ryan Braun to begin the Milwaukee 9th. Field by Stubbs to give the Reds this current 4-3 lead, and here we go in the 9th. And you know the story on Aroldis Chapman. He was unscored upon to begin this year through the first 2 months of the season. And now all of a sudden, Chris, he has had a very, very hard time getting people out.
Well, his last couple of outings have resulted in blown saves. In fact, home runs hit off of him that have been the deciding home runs. A walk-off home run in Cleveland by Asdrubal Cabrera with a man on an opposite field shot into the right field bleachers. A home run here against the Minnesota Twins the other day when Josh Willingham took him deep. And I think the thing to watch for Chapman right now is, number one, his aggressiveness. You don't want him starting to pick away at the corners with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. But you also want to see if he throws a variety of different types of pitches. Will he use his slider tonight? Will he use that split finger pitch that he's used from time to time as a changeup to try to get some of the hitters off the fastball? He'll be working the number 4, 5, and 6 in the order.
Chapman did not allow a run his first 24 outings, spanning 29 innings this season. He has allowed a run in 5 of his last 7 games. Ryan Braun has been hit by a pitch. He has popped up to Cozart at short and hit a rocket right on the nose, but right at Brandon Phillips in the 7th inning. And boy, does this young man, Aroldis Chapman, need a confidence lift, or at least one might assume that. 2-0. I mean, we can all sit around and talk about throwing more sliders and more off-speed pitches, and all those things are probably true. But Aroldis Chapman is looking for a clean 9th inning and a save to hopefully get this tough turn of events going in the other direction, and he has started Braun 3-0.
Well, he just seems a little out of sync. And to me, it looks like he sped up his delivery just a little bit. I know that's just an observation here from the 3rd level without looking at any tape and really breaking it down.
Three and 0 the count on Braun. And there's a strike. Not sure Braun agreed with that call by the home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg. In fact, his body language pretty much tells you he didn't. Three and one the count on Ryan Braun to begin the ninth. And it's hit down the right field line out of play. Payoff pitch coming. Got him swinging.
Well, that ought to be a little bit of a confidence builder right there. You get Ryan Braun, last year's most valuable player. You get him 3-0, and you come right back with 3 fastballs and put him in the books.
Now Ramos Ramirez has played Pepper tonight with Jay Bruce out in right field. Ramirez has 9 home runs on the season.
I'll tell you, Ryan Braun did it twice. Ramos Ramirez is trying it, calling timeout, stepping out, just trying to make it tough on Chapman to get some rhythm.
Chapman has fallen behind each of the first 2 hitters here in the 9th inning, and nothing but fastballs so far. He's 2 outs away from trying to pick up a save for Sean Marshall. 2-0.
Now, one thing the Reds are doing different in this ball game than they did in Chapman's last game against the Twins is they're playing their outfield a little deeper. Nothing will go between those outfielders and the wall and drop in fair territory here. It's either going out of the ballpark or they're going to catch it. So they're playing that prevent defense.
Fell behind Braun 3-0. Came back to strike him out. He's fallen behind Ramirez 3-0. And this game belongs to Aroldis Chapman. There is no action in the Reds bullpen. A 4-pitch walk. Carlos Gomez going to be set up as a pinch hitter to hit for the left-handed batting Ishikawa. Gomez just recently activated off the Milwaukee disabled list.
Now, that quick conversation you saw between Brian Price and Dusty Baker results in a phone call out to Jorge Lopez, and they'll get somebody up and throw in a bullpen. Looks like it might be Arredondo.
A lot of pop in Gomez's bat. He's looking first pitch fastball, and he got a first pitch slider.
I like it.
That's an unhittable pitch right there. Ramirez virtually no threat to run. And here's another slider that just ate him up to get ahead 0-2. up in the strike zone. And now Chapman an out away from knocking this thing out for the night.
Now that's what you call getting him velocitized. A couple of pitches in the 80s, and then you throw that fastball in there about 10 to 12 miles an hour harder. And you just can't adjust.
Martin Maldonado coming up now to pinch hit for Qatar's. First pitch fastball, a swing and a miss. So hard to get a read on Chapman. Communicates very, very little to the press anyway. So hard to get a real feel for, where, if anywhere, his head or his heart might be right now with all that he's been through after the unbelievable start. Well, the tools are there. There's no debate about that. Trying to get his first save since the 16th of this month in New York.
Boy, the adrenaline kicking in right now for Aroldis Chapman.
To the count on Maldonado. Phone it in. Aroldis Chapman. The forward roll. Two of them. Where in the world did that come from? What in the world was that all about? The bottom line is that ends a string for Chapman and the Reds. They have lost 6 one-run games consecutively. And look at this. Forward roll number 1. Do it again. And I don't even think Dusty Baker has any idea what Chapman did out there. In fact, I'm quite sure of it.
I've never seen a celebration quite like that.
And I'm sure that will not go over all that well on the other dugout. I've never seen any pitcher do it.
On purpose.
Look at this.